Yes.
I've always been told that I don't need a mic. Thank you so much for coming to your museum today. I appreciate it. We are excited to have you. This is an official welcome. My name is Lisa Brown Ross, and I am the new president and CEO of the African American Museum. And I am extremely excited to be here to usher the legacy of Dr. Harry Robinson. 50 years, can you imagine? 50 years is a long time to do anything. And for him to be the founder, Dr. Robinson knows where the rebarb is in the cement here. I am extremely honored for this assignment, and I do believe that it is an assignment. I will be ushering in, my goal is another 50 years. I've been asked many times, what is my vision? And what I will say is it's a little early to capture a vision. I've only been here for almost 43 days. But what I will tell you that's important to me and the desire of my heart is that this museum is standing, this sacred place remains for another 50 years. So while I cannot fill Dr. Robinson's shoes, I don't want anyone telling me that I have Dr. Robinson's shoes to fill, because that's impossible. It's impossible to fill his shoes. But what I will be doing, what I will be working hard to do, is carrying on his legacy in stilettos. This is an exciting time for the museum. I'm so excited about the work that Margie has done in bringing the exhibits to the museum. Protecting cultural memory is huge for us, and the Morris Younger exhibit as well. And these are some of the exhibits that we can tell you will be moving forward with in the future. Just exciting things about culture and community. So without further ado, I want to bring Margie to the podium. She is our programs director and has done a fabulous job. She will talk more about the grant that we received, which we are extremely excited about, and the work with Google. So without further ado, thank you so much for being here today, and here's Margie.
Thank you. Thanks everybody, and thanks Lisa. The thing about Lisa and I is that we never get to see each other. I'm in a corner, she's in a corner, but work is happening here, again, to give a strong nod to the legacy of Harry Robinson Jr. I want to share with you the 3 exhibitions that you will see on your tour. You will remember that the Freedman Cemetery exhibition has been on view here for decades. In the coming year, it will do some transforming to make it a little bit more interactive. You'll also see an exhibition of the history and legacy of the Omega Psi Phi fraternity. We've had the Delta Sigma Theta sorority here, and so now we're showing you some history and information about that. Really important fraternal organization. The work of Morris Younger is the work of Philip Collins. Morris Younger is the late African-American sculptor. We are fortunate to have installed a piece in the courtyard, and you will see some very contemporary sculpture, metal, some paintings, etc. upstairs in this gallery. Philip will be around to give you a little bit more detail about that. That exhibition is important to us because we want our audiences to see contemporary art in this museum as well. We focus a great deal on history, but art is universal and timeless. And so we want to invite the young audiences, young artists, etc., to see the work of this sculpture. Lisa made reference to the $3 million grant that we have received from the state of Texas through the Texas Historical Commission. And that work has launched and is focused on protecting the archives, the artwork, all the material that we've collected over 50 years. We want your audiences to know that when they come to the museum during the State Fair and a little bit after, that the museum has made a conscious, intentional decision to stop and take care of the artwork that we have in this building and in other storage areas. Conservation is a priority for us. We refer to it, the team calls me CPR. Conservation, preservation, and restoration. And so in the gallery, Protecting Cultural Memory, we're emphasizing that work by showing you the work of a really important outsider artist, a folk artist, if you will, who calls himself Mr. Imagination. We exhibited Mr. Imagination's collection, the exhibition was called Fire, over 10 years ago. And what better way to show our public what conservation looks like than to reinstall some pieces from that exhibit, and then to be so bold and in your face as to show you a conservation lab in the gallery. So during the time of the fair, we will have a conservator working 2 days a week so that our visitors, and why isn't she working 7 days a week? Because they're very expensive. We want people to understand that that is a technical that's a technical body of work. And so it's not just, take a paintbrush and just sort of dust things off. The caretaking of art, we want our patrons to understand that gloves have to be worn, that scientific principles have to be applied, chemicals, etc. So we want to do a huge awareness building during the State Fair. What is conservation anyway? What is preservation? Why is it important? Why can't I just see a collection of art? Protecting cultural memory is just that, not allowing the work of artists to get lost. And so we invite you to see all that we've been working on here. We're even going to give you a sneak peek into the library. Hope you'll go in there. Behind the wall of the library is a portion of our archival material. We can't let you go in there for obvious reasons, but it's the story of people that built the city, the state, and this country. Those stories are behind that wall. So welcome to this museum right now. This is a time of looking forward. That's Lisa's job. My job is to protect what we've done so far. And I think you'll have some good ideas about other questions. I'm happy to take some. Lisa will take some. Philip will take some as we go through the day. But this is your time. Do not keep this work a secret. Tell Dallas what's happening at this museum. Thank you. We go up.
Do you want to introduce Philip, but then we'll just go up and let him take over from there?
Long time curator, former friend. Now he's my best buddy. Our chief curator in residence, Philip Collins. I call him honey.
Thank you, Margie, very much, and it's good to see you people again. It's been some time since I've stood behind this to talk about the exhibitions here at the African American Museum. But it's timely, and it's the time that I do this to support Lisa and the museum moving forward from this point on. Morris Yanger. Morris Yanger was a competitor in the Southwest Black Art Competition, which we call now the Carol Harris Sims Competition, back in 2004 when I curated that show at that time. And he won first place of Best in Sculpture. And he was promised an exhibition here at the museum. And now is the time for the Morris Yanger. And I want you to know also that this exhibition has pieces in it that has participated in the lab that Margie has put together upstairs. Morris Ain, pardon me.
Yes.
Morris Zane. No, I'll come up with something in my throat. Morris' work is about abstract expressionism. And when we go to the gallery, it's best that I give you an overview of Morris Anger's work, because that work is what Margie said earlier, is an education in American art history. And because of the way the style was put together as an abstract expressionist, it tells much more than realistic paintings. As an abstract expressionist painter and sculptor, he worked in the realms of the inner life of the human soul. And that's what abstract expressionism does. It is subjective, but not non-subjective. What it does, it actually brings you to the point of wanting to visualize your inner thoughts and to bring those out visibly. It's not like realistic, participation of a piece of artwork where there is only the images telling the stories with figures of people and nature and the like. And that's why abstract art, which was founded by Kandinsky, started that movement. And let's go up and I can show you the difference in how his work works in this space.
Thank you, Philip. So you can take the stairs, you can take the elevator. Are we okay?
Of Morris Yanger by walking through and talking about the pieces, because he's in all of them. His inner soul is expressed through abstract expressionism. Just like what I said downstairs, it represents non-representation, if that makes sense to you. It's not the real thing. This, for example, is a portrait, self-portrait of Morris Yanger. And it shows him his work evolving from realism. He started out with realism. And he evolved into abstract expressionism. You can see here where it got into cubism and the like, and the influence of all the other artists during that time. Picasso is in here, Leger is in here with architecture and all. But these are inner thoughts made visible. And this is what's going on in his head. And this is a portrait of that, how he does that. So if you step into the gallery and come in this direction, these are some of the works that he does. He works in steel, flat steel, welded steel, and pieces like this are large scale, most of them. And when you see small ones like that here, they were designed for table pieces, small sculptures for table. But like the maquettes, like this piece here, if you look outside on the photograph of, you can see those are large scale things. And it has the same influence. It's having a dialogue with the sculptor Moore, Henry Moore. You familiar with Henry Moore? We have a big Henry Moore downtown at City Hall, the large piece there. And those pieces have these shapes and lines and things that represent that of femininity, mother and the child and the like. But these are thoughts that he has, and this is how it comes out, making the thought visible. Okay? Get some ideas of how he's doing this. Now, on the opposite side of that portrait there, you have this thing. What's up with this? We're digging here. What is this? This is Matisse. The lines from Matisse and the like. What it is, Morris Younger had this vision, and he moved from doing painting to sculpture. It evolved to that because of the lines and the like. For example, if you look at the lines and all in this painting here, you see also the idea of sculpture, the lines in sculpture, and the void space here. The white there is representing that void space that you see in sculpture. And imagine that as just being the lines there. And you can bring those lines to form shapes and give it form as well. This is also one of his thoughts, and then we're educated by the point we see here that he is also in dialogue with Henry Moore in this piece as well, because it is the female figure there. But is it the female figure? Or is it a female figure? You see how he's gradually moving from realism into abstraction. Now, if we look on the walls here, these paintings here, the reason I'm showing you the paintings first, because I'll show you how they relate to the sculptures, how they evolve from there, from the paintings 2 dimensions to 3 dimensions. If you look at these pieces here, you see the brush strokes and all in these, and they're primarily black and white with line. There's a little color in there, but they're primarily black and white. And those that black and white is his conversation with Kandinsky. You see that? The Kandinsky. Now, you take those lines and those spaces and the shapes in that, with very little color, and look to that wall of sculpture. That's these pieces belong to that. Okay? Moving through, you can see these pieces here, the larger pieces here, were garden pieces. They were at his estate, at his home, and everything. These used to be on the campus at Collin County College. If you notice here, these sculptures have been restored. And they were restored for this exhibition through the program in the other exhibition over there. So these two exhibitions are tied together. You can see here how they have been restored. This piece, the yellow, of course, the big yellow piece there, and the tree-like image here in the back here. I apologize, the labels are not up yet. They will be here sometime this evening or tomorrow morning. These two paintings here in the exhibition are very important because Maurice Younger also worked not only with metal, steel pieces, he also worked with found objects that he put together. And these pieces come out of these. You can see the relationship from this. If you come and look closely at it, you can see that there are parts of the machinery and what they came from. The two paintings here are a reflection and have the influence also of Kandinsky, the color and the light, and how he uses this in space, and the machinery of the wheels turning and the light on that. And that's what we see in this, and that's why these are tied together, because this is this. This is the outcome of that. But all of this is mental thinking, inner life. It's all about thought. So he gives the one or two pieces that he gives a title to. It's only one word or so. Just because of the brief and the exactness. He does not want, like in abstract expressionism, he does not want you the viewer to be locked into a theme. It opens up your inner thoughts, that where you engage in the piece, that way. What do you think it is? What do you see? And it's about, abstract expressionism is more about feeling, emotion. And that's what it's about. And not just telling a narrative story or something like that, but how you feel, your inner feelings, and how you express them. And this is this inner life out in this form, in a visible form. So that's basically what it is. It is invisible becoming visible. Whereas in the other paintings that you see by other artists, that work that is not expressionism, that work is something that already is visible. Like people and nature and life, but this is completely a different approach, and that's what this movement is about. And that's the educational part of this exhibition, is that we want to teach that. And they come out of these three forms. You see the color platforms that we have here. The circle, the triangle, and the square. See, the square is one thing. Now, from those shapes comes many shapes. And it starts simply with a point, which is the circle. It's a point. And when you move that point, you create a line. And then that's what starts the inner becoming the outer from that point. Okay. Are there any questions?
Can you talk a little bit about his life?
Well, yes. Margaret, he is originally from New York City. He studied in New York City and all, and then he moved to Dallas. to work for American Airlines. And he worked for them for, 32 years? And from that time, after that time, he took his art seriously. But mind you, he was doing art while working with American Airlines as well. And at the same time, he participated in a lot of the local gallery shows and museum galleries as well. And he had several commissions as well. And as I said earlier, he participated in the Carol Harrison competition here that we have here at the African American Museum, and won Best in Sculpture during that period. He lived here, for 32 years. And no, he worked for American Airlines for 32 years. And he died in 2011, I think it was. Yes, 2011. And this is what is of his estate. Now, some of these pieces in here, as I said, they're different types of material. Some are maquettes, so they're made out of balsam wood and the like. And look at this. This is purely Kandinsky. Coming to life in 3 dimensions here now. But this is a maquette or studied for making a piece of sculpture before it has it. Okay? And he did bronze casting as well, as you see there, over there. The reclined lady in bronze.
Because we're kind of almost there in about an hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, if everybody has any more questions, they can come back and talk to you about this. If any of y'all have further questions, we're going to move on across because we want to be respectful of your time. But if you have anything else, he obviously has deep
Yes, a lot.
information on Martinger. So we're going to go.
Here we are. Thank you guys for coming over. I think it's pretty self-explanatory. I'm not going to talk along like Philip, but this is all the work of the artist Gregory Womack, who calls himself Mr. Imagination. And so you can just see how this man's brain worked. But his work is a compilation of his childhood memories, his influence of his mother and his grandmother and family members, and then also the influence of the world, how he sort of breathed in what he was living and seeing in Chicago in the 60s. And so this collection is larger than what we have on view here, but it's owned by his estate, and they're allowing us to reinstall pieces of this exhibition to reinforce this little space back here, which is our conservation lab, a model conservation lab, what our conservators will be working over this summer. And we'll be working on some of these actual pieces. On the pedestal behind us in the corner here, where the chair is, it will indicate that there are 2 chairs. One of them is on view, and one of them will be in the lab getting some work done to it, so people will actually be able to see that process. And so I don't want to just keep talking and burning your ears off, but We are very proud of this effort that we've just launched. And with funding that we've received from the Texas Historical Commission, the Texas Commission on the Arts, Google and other funders to come, we want to make sure that the public is able to see and bring awareness to the concept of keeping things safe and protecting the art from damage. We have 3 off-site storage units that are not environmentally controlled. So my goal is to remove all of those archival materials into a safer place where there's environmental controls so that we can begin to digitize them and make them accessible to the world. We have material from something I want us all to do research around, and it's the Great Fire of Dallas of 1860. We have the material articles about that event in Dallas history, where black people were falsely accused of burning down buildings in downtown Dallas. They never got redemption. We want to bring that story back to life so that we can honor our ancestors who were part of that really, really unfortunate event. But we also want young people to read about the success of Eddie Bernice Johnson, Juanita Craft, A. Maceo Smith, J.J. Rhodes, L.G. Pinkston, so many African-American educators whose portraits, only a few of them are downstairs in the basement, will all be digitized so young people can see who is my school named after and who was that person. We want our elders to understand that we recognize and honor their contributions to life in this city. So this little lab is only the tip of the iceberg. It's just a symbol to show you the dedication that we have at this museum to protecting cultural memory. We don't want this work to get lost. And I want you to take a tour of the gallery here, and I want you to stop, just walk past the library, knowing that behind the library wall are boxes and boxes and boxes of archival material. 40,000 black and white photographs.
Wow. From
the Sepia magazine collection that Dr. Robinson purchased literally on the courthouse steps when the IRS was raiding the magazine. And we purchased those, and they're here. You'll see some of the images around the building. I also want you to know some of the staff that are in this room. Felicia Johnson, who helps us with our marketing and membership. Lakeen Wilson, who you've seen around here for a bit, who is an associate curator that backs up Philip Collins. And then the most incredible troublemaker you could ever find, Ernest Moore, who has worked day and night, late nights, early mornings, to get all of this pulled together, is our facilities manager. So this work is not for the faint of heart, but if it were easy, anybody could do it. So we're here. Let us know what you're thinking, what you have questions about. Enjoy the artwork. Becky, I never know what I'm supposed to do next.
Well, I was just going to say that Philip did know Mr. Imagination personally.
Oh, yeah.
And so he could share a little bit about what you're seeing, and just, I know some of y'all are on a time frame, but if y'all want to hear a little bit about that.
Oh, okay.
And can I first say that Philip has loaned us the portrait of his friend for this exhibition, and we will make sure that he gets it back.
But maybe talk about the materials and the fire and all of those things.
Right. We did an exhibition here about a year or two ago on Mr. Imagination, and these were some of the pieces that was in that exhibition. But primarily what you're seeing here are portraits of Mr. Imagination, because they came out of a dream. Not a dream, I'm sorry, but out of him. Let me back up. He was in a car accident, and he was in a coma, and he had to go to the hospital and all. And he was unconscious for a long period of time. And during that time, he traveled through various reincarnations. And for example, like this wizard here, place here, he imagined himself as that at one time, in that. And these are reproductions of that, coming out from that coma, what he visualized his experiences with that. The guitar here, this is a part of his earliest work here. And it's made out of, as you can see, screen and all found objects, buttons, and wire threads and all. But the interesting thing, the backstory behind that is this the imagination when he first started. His material of choice was industrial sandstone. And I think we have some of that. Is there some of that in his exhibition? No, there's no sandstone in here. But that's what started Mr. Imagination's career, artist journey. He used sandstone with a nail, and he would chisel into that to make images and things, three-dimensional pieces like sculpture, with little sculpture and all that. And he made trinkets also, little trinkets that you could wear like necklaces and things like that. And he would sell them at the big market there in Chicago. He was from Chicago, Illinois. He would sell them there. And at that market, that's where the blues singers and all who were coming in from Memphis, they would play the blues at the market during that time and all. And this was his memories and ideas of remembering them playing there in the marketplace and all. And he wanted to immortalize that gesture of the blues musician playing for free in the marketplace there in Chicago. That's how that came into being. No. But the carousel here and all, this horse and all of these are reincarnations of Mr. I. And this is interesting here. The influence, this is almost to his grandmother here. This is his grandmother. This is Mr. Imagination there, Gregory Warmack. And this is his sister here. And that.
So I want to make one connection for the group, if I may.
Sure.
For a second, I'm going to embarrass this young man, but Kevin Mundy, I want you to come stand next to me. This past summer, as part of our conservation global programming, we worked with Kevin Mundy, who runs an organization in South Dallas called Project Still I Rise. And we launched the Harry Robinson Jr. Conservation Institute so that we could involve young people in understanding what it takes to work as an arts conservator, an art handler, and an art historian. Yes. And Kevin brought us 9 high school and college young people, graduated from high school in Dallas, and now attend Spelman University, Howard University. They were here with us, working and getting these very pieces ready for this exhibition. If we don't stop and teach children, especially underrepresented kids, who don't really see themselves in the museum world, that's a part of this passion with us. If you don't think I'm passionate about it, don't try me. But I want that to be a part of this, the understanding of what that work means to this institution. So training another generation, yes, of artists, but also of art handlers and caretakers of art and our culture. That's the only way we can guarantee that it gets protected. So meet Kevin, he'll be here for a minute. He's a little emotional. done right now because he's seeing the realization of the work that we imagined together. So I wanted to make sure that you know who Kevin Mundy is.
Hello, everybody. Thank you all for having me. I mean, to Marjorie's point, this is a project that has really come to fruition, but also the workforce development opportunities that it creates for career paths for our students who may not have access and opportunity in this community for those diverse opportunities to work with art. So you may not be an artist per se, but there are other meaningful career paths to preserve our history, to preserve legacy, and not only that, it intertwines STEM. So when you're bringing something back from a science perspective, the things that they learned this summer was phenomenal. And I'm taking photos and I'm sending it to students who should be in class studying right now. However, I am getting responses and they are like wow and floored. So my emotion is a part of what they are responding to me by seeing things they actually touched, they learned about from Mr. Hakeem and the staff who worked with them this summer. The museum literally became theirs this summer, and the museum became them as well. So thank you all for coming and documenting this experience, as well as finding ways to become more intimately involved with the museum as we continue to grow programs collaboratively, like Mr. Imagination and others. So thank you all very much.
Okay, give us some contact information.
So Kevin Mundy, Project Still I Rise. I can be reached, or we can be reached at 972-546-0977 or on our website at www.psir.org. But I will say this, we are a partner with the museum and we are supporting the museum vision together collaboratively as we can find more innovative ways to bring, entrepreneurship, innovation to the community and students for all. So thank you. Appreciate it.
Kevin, before you finish,
Yes.
can you just give us a brief overview of the students, the ages, the grades, as well as the breadth across the Dallas Metroplex, as well as the various colleges?
Yeah, so we had students who, I'll start with our college students. The majority of them were rising sophomores, meaning they had completed their freshman year at a campus across America. And those campuses included Hampton University, Howard, Morehouse, Delaware State, Florida A&M University, Spelman College, Mount St. Vincent out of New York, and these were all students who were from the Dallas area. And I think that the interesting thing is when we came in day one, Ms. Marjorie asked a question, how many of y'all have ever been to the museum growing up? There were only a few hands that raised in that audience of 9 college students who were born and raised right here in Dallas. So they got a very, very, very in-depth knowledge on the history of the museum from start to build to finish, but also the opportunities where the museum is saying, hey, we need you back here, giving your time, talent, and even your treasure as well. Galleries are set up, as I explained before, from artifacts and the restoration projects, various career paths, opportunity to listen to historians from the museum staff. Also got an opportunity to hang paintings and learn how that is done from an eyes perspective and the overall, I would say the overall operational run flow of the museum. So outstanding opportunity for students looking to find ways how we can grow that program into a second cohort. The problem is the first cohort don't want to leave right now. So, and even the college students who were posting on their LinkedIn, I shared at a museum retreat with what the experience some of the college students had shared on their LinkedIn profiles that they had at the museum. So those are all phenomenal stories, but impactful ways that this museum is making in our community and the partnerships that it is building to continue the legacy of this historic site.
And if we don't say that tomorrow is North Texas Giving Day, Felicia will kill me.
Yes.
But thank you all again. I want you to stay, linger, make sure you pass by the library for a bit and talk to us. You know, we're here for you today. So appreciate your being here. So look around and enjoy.
Quite an enlightening experience today. Honored to be here today to be part of this wonderful gathering of exhibit and wonderful people to break down and explain the exhibit. I thought Philip, as well as some of the other personnel here, did a marvelous job in explaining the cultural exhibit here at the African American Museum. I'm very, very excited to be here this morning and want to encourage other parts of our community to come on down here and be a part of this and experience this wonderful experience that I just took in this morning. Come on down and be a part of this experience. You will certainly appreciate it for sure. Thank you, CW, for the opportunity.
All right.